I don't think it's ironic that the people that supposedly love you the most end up being the same people that hate you the most, at least in my case, because any extreme is always going to lead to another extreme. And it's been my case, my experience, that the deeper I've gone into a relationship, into any kind of anything, the harder it's been to get out of it, and or it just goes the other extreme. It's just the destruction is huge. And I mean that in I'm speaking in relationship terms because we all go through many relationships in life, and we try to give our best. I hope I do. And I try to be the best version of me that I can with whatever tools I have or whatever what- I do my best. And you get to a point that your best is just not good enough. Right? And you realize that giving it your all is just not cutting it. And you have some choices. My choices have been to stop giving it my best, stop giving it my all. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe that's just human nature. I don't know. I felt at the time whatever actions I've taken have been um, um just the actions I've taken. I think if I will go back and think over actions and rethink over situations, then I may do things differently. But that's what this journal is about. I This is me from the past, remembering even further past. So in the future I understand how I got there. And every journey has ups and downs. Every life has ups and downs. And my downs have been real learning lessons for me. And I've seen myself in very down circumstances. Perhaps they're my actions. I want to think that just because that's all I can control, my actions. But also, I believe that destiny is real and that's a coping mechanism. I need to believe in something, right? So I believe things that are happening or happen are meant to happen. And that relieves some stress on the burden that it is to carry all the responsibility. Because if I go and travel in the past, maybe the people that were with me through some circumstances, maybe they see it different. Maybe they see I'm the problem. And if that's what they see, then that's the reality. That's their truth. But truth is subjective. If we are at a concert, we all have different seats, different points of view. We're going to hear a different concert. We're going to see different things from our vantage point. So to assume that because that person was sitting in the front row and I'm sitting in the way back in the nosebleeds, that my truth is the ultimate truth and that person is just wrong. Doesn't make sense. They saw something different. They had a different view. That's life, that's relationships. We have different views, and people's views on what happened are going to have different vantage points. I've learned to walk with that. because it allows me not to blame other people for whatever happens. And it allows me not to carry 100% of the burden of what happens because also, sometimes it rains. Is it your fault? I mean, you can get out of the rain. There's a million things you could do, but that's all you can do. Sometimes it rains. And when it rains in a relationship, meaning an outside circumstance or force has influence over the outcome of relationships or the perspective of a relationship, it's not fair for either person to carry that blame. But when it rains and you understand that it's raining and it's out of your control, what do? You take cover, you go on your own, you get an umbrella. Do you strive and continue together? That is going to depend, but I feel a lot of times and I'll say that, I've been abandoned, right? Like in hard times because of whatever reason. I probably could have done things differently, but at the end of the day, to me, abandonment is one of the most hurtful things you can do to someone, right? When someone needs you or they don't have the capacity to do more and you abandon them, that's hurtful, right? Especially when it comes from people that allegedly love you or want the best for you, because there's no coming back from abandonment. Even if there is a comeback, it's never the same. And I've learned through life to take abandonment really serious. I take it to heart. I take it very personal. I take it as in, if I need you, I might not even know I need you, but if I need you and you abandon me, when I recover from needing you and I don't need you anymore, I don't need you anymore. I don't care how painful, I don't care how anything is done. And it's important for me to log this into my journal because I never want to be in the same situations over and over again because I'm not learning the lesson. I'm not, I keep doing the same thing. I keep falling into the next hole, giving my all, my best, only just to be left stranded when I don't have my best, when I'm not at my best. It's easy to love someone at their best. Super simple. It's hard to love people at their worst. So my whole view on relationships, even love, is very cynical, very skewed right now. And I doubt that I'm gonna change my position on how I see things now. But I'm also not closed-minded, but I am pretty convinced that you can't give your all. You're left with nothing, right? And then when you're left with nothing, the likelihood that person is not gonna be there at your nothing is very unlikely because what they fell in love with was your best. So you gave this person your all, your best, and your dedication, your time, your energy, your everything. And when you don't have that to give, boom, they're out. And it's happened to me many times. And it's not an excuse of me not being at my best, because that's one thing I I like to do is take responsibility where I've fallen short, where I've not taken the right actions. You know, painfully, I take responsibility for that. But to take 100% of the blame for other people's expectations not being met 100% of the time, it was very taxing on me. It was very difficult throughout life, just trying to live up to other people's expectations, even beyond my capabilities. So now, my view, again, you don't have to see it my way, but my view is that giving your all is a mistake. I think you should give your best, but not your all. I'll explain the difference. Giving your best is saying, this is what I have. Here you go. And this is pretty good. This is my best. Giving your all is when you neglect you to meet other people's unrealistic expectations, where you sacrifice everything, even health, from mental health to physical health, even, I mean, obviously your happiness, you're not happy. And that person to still expect you to not be happy, not be at a good place, still expect you to give your best. And you doing that, that's giving your all. You can't give your all, not to an external force. Give you your all and then give them your best. Now, when you deplete your all and you have nothing, absolutely nothing, your actions change because you go into a effort point, right? You go into, it don't matter at that point. You have nothing to lose because you have nothing, right? So when you get to that point, it's very hurtful for everyone involved because you give up. At least in my case, that's how I've operated in the past, where I give, and then I have nothing to give, and if the expectation to give is still there, I still try to give for whatever reason that's been the case, and then I get to a point that is so exhausting that I stop giving. Not only I stop giving, I start backtracking who I really am. Right? I consider myself a good person, someone with a good heart. I'm very empathetic. I have all these qualities that I feel that are very good, and I can see where I lose those qualities, and I go from being a builder to being a destroyer. Like this, it's unfortunate, and I wish that was not the case, but I got to take responsibility where responsibilities got to be taken, and I do become destructive when I have nothing left to give, and not only stop building, I start dismantling everything I built. And throughout life, that's been the case over and over again. And I've been hurt by it. And many people that have been in relationships with me have been hurt by it. And I take responsibility for that. Yet I've learned to also discern the responsibility that I owe to that I need to take with taking full 100% responsibility. There's a percentage here. And I can't say it's 100% me. And then for people to expect for me to take 100% of the responsibility without any improvement on their part, that's a deal breaker. And when I go into that I don't care mode, I'm I'm a different person. Still me, but it's the other side of me. Is this side that it's not given anymore. And then it's time to, I don't know, seek some psychological justice. I haven't thought about it, how to label what it is, but I don't see it at the time, right? When I'm going through it, I don't see it as destructive. I see it as seeking some sort of justice, some sort of, I've been left stranded and done wrong, and someone's gonna pay for this. And when you're in that blinded anger, resentment stage, it's a dangerous stage because everyone's already hurting, and all it does is just create more chaos and pain. And I've learned to control that part. When I say control, doesn't mean that it's completely out. It just means that I can recognize it and reel it in. I wanted to put this out in my journal because I feel like a lot of times our pain dictates our actions. Our lack dictates our actions. And some of those actions are life-saving, even though they may be destructive. Sometimes you got to destroy it in order to build. Other times, there's no need for any destruction. You can build better on top of whatever foundation you have. But when that foundation starts flimsy, then it's just, there's nothing to build. And, it's like, you buy a piece of land that has a old house or building in it, and you got to decide, do you want to destroy that building and start new, or you want to just modify that building, make it better? But you got to do something because life is in constant movement. Being stuck somewhere that you don't deserve to be, somewhere you don't want to be, somewhere where you're not appreciated, somewhere where, sometimes it's not that you want to start anything or destroy anything. Sometimes you're left alone in a vacant lot, right? You have nothing. And the people that were helping you build, they bounced. And what do? Something's got to be done. Because if you don't, that's the definition of stalling. That's when you stop growing, progressing, moving. Are you really alive? Hopefully one day I look back at this and go, wow, I remember that frame of mind. I remember what I was thinking. I remember what was going on because even though I'm saying all of these things, I'm not saying everything. And I think the things that I'm not saying are way more heavy than what I am saying. And hopefully I remember to read between the lines when I'm watching this in the future. And if you're watching this and you have felt in the same position, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There is. Wherever that is, it's out there. Keep moving. Don't stall. Especially don't stall in the dark. Don't do that. Speaking to me.